All right, we're back. So off stream, just before this, I added a little prototype creature, which is going to be our little rat dude that I just decided I wanted to make. We need to make an actual animation and a little, real mesh for him. But he is added in. He has some, what do you call it? Navigation is working. I just basically pulled over the same stuff from the rock golem. So it's not actually super accurate to how he's going to move because we're going to need him on a different navigation mesh. But look, they kind of scurry around like this. The thing that I want to do is we'll need to kind of make them a little bit more collective because right now they're all separate from each other and I want them to be more moving around as a group. But what we're going to work on today, I actually have good ideas on what we're going to work on today. Normally I do not. But we are going to do this. Placeables as well, and creatures. So we're going to make our previews have a thing that basically says, can we place here or not? So if I go to Stonehammer and I do item left click action, we do is building equals false. Okay. Build resources.get. We're doing all of these checks here. So what we'll probably do is something like in our player script, we have what do we have? Preview? No. It's in our build. Base builder. We have current preview scene. Okay. Oh, let me real quick throw my links. And open up my YouTube chat because I have forgotten. Copy that link. Let's go to Discord. Okay, we published that. Okay, sweet. So, what I'm thinking is when you're trying to build, so let's say there's, these rat dudes here. If I'm trying to build, I don't want to be able to build on top of these guys. I want them to block it, right? Because I don't want you to be able to build on top of people. I also don't want you to be able to build a foundation right here, because that's overlapping with a bunch of stuff. So what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that there is some sort of collision on the preview that checks and sees what components are in the area. This dude is just chilling. Oh, I love that effect. That's such a nice little touch to just be able to do that. It's just fun. But yeah, so that's the plan. I wonder if this guy still gets stuck in different spots. I don't know. Okay, where's our rat dudes? We got a couple of them here. So these guys are gonna need to be on a different navigation mesh at some point, but right now I'm just keeping them on the main one. But because they are a different size, they need to be. Where did he go? Oh, is that him? Yeah. Scurrying around. So we have a couple things in progress. We're gonna do dark rats. That's what we're calling them. They're gonna be slightly annoying. They're gonna move around in little packs, and you're gonna have to kind of get rid of them using like the light wand and some other items. Let me see. How many more copies? Probably don't need to make any more. But I do have crackers and pepperoni, which I will eat. Because I need a snack. But dark rats, and then the preview with a collision area, which I think... I think basically what we need is just our preview scene. Component preview, which is like this. So let's do square foundation preview. It is a component preview. Now I'm going to do an export. Add export var overlap detect. Which will be an area 3D. On the square foundation, we'll do area 3D, do a collision shape on it. I guess we'll do it like this for now. Terrain and structure. We do need that. Placeables, collision. Creatures, collision. Tree and gather nodes. I don't know if we really need that. And let's do -0.5. What is up with the... Oh, this, where's my just regular square foundation? Okay, that shows it like that. Okay. What about the collision? All right. I suppose that is fine. This is an area 3D, but maybe I need to I'm going to do a new scene called detect or obstacle detect. Okay. We're going to call this obstacle detect. Then we can do that. And then here we can delete this. We can do obstacle detect, do editable children. Then this, we can do our, we have to do it like that. Maybe we don't actually have this in the obstacle detect scene. And then we can just do it like this. This already has the collision set correctly. Okay, nice. So it'll be easy to add to other things. Transform, we can do -0.5. Okay. This will be an obstacle detect. So now if I click here, I can do this, assign, boom. Okay. And then here, I think we can do okay, this was the invalid placement thing. We already have preview invalid color, which we can do. Okay. I think what we can do is this. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Invalid placement we don't need. Okay, what am I doing? Do I detect these or connect these here? Var. We could do something like valid is false or true. And then we could do something like var overlapping bodies array empty array. This is in the component. Okay, and then we could do something like func add body. Would it be something like this where we do in the ready we go area entered dot connect add body, and then here we can do this needs to be body entered body exited. Okay. Node 3D, we could do this. Void. Okay, so we could do if body is base build component, okay, we have character bodies, we have what is our actual collision? Creature collision, but I think that's just for the player, right? But we can still set them on creature collision. Well, wait. This is on creature collision. Okay. Okay. Player runs into the creatures. 1 second, let me put this back. This is probably where we should have some sort of base creature entity. Have a sneeze. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay. Yeah, we could have some base creature entity, but I also don't want to do that quite yet. Like, okay, that's items and interactables. If we rename this, build obstacles. Then maybe this obstacle detect can just do that. But that would also mean that I need to take all of my example components. Why is obstacle detect there? This needs to be in components. Then here we can put him on layer, build obstacles. We take our dark rat, we can put him on layer, build obstacles. Okay. Then we need to make sure all of our base build component. What is our, so square foundation, the collision is just on layer 1. 33, value 30, or 32, so I could do, how do I do that? Collision mask, collision layer. All right. I think I could do this. Base build component, 32. No, 33. Oh, this doesn't work. Shoot. That does not work because of how we're doing things. Okay. Which means we would need to change all of our components to have a collision either exactly like this, where like every base build component is the same, so you go to your square foundation and you select your collision, which right now our collision is all over the place. We have some of our CSG boxes have collision. Otherwise, we have like a static body like this. It's just not exactly what we want. I'm gonna have to think about this. I think we just do 2 areas. We just have to do an area on all of these, which is annoying. Which means our let's see. Reopen that. Need that open, don't need these. So basically our obstacle detect in our component preview, we're gonna need area entered and obstacle detect. Attempted to open script, example component scenes, obstacle detect. That's because it's not in there anymore. Let's reload this. Hey, Bix, what's up? Sorry if I missed your chat. I don't know how long that's been there, but how's it going? You say how goes. It's going well. So right now what we're trying to do is first let's do if obstacle detect is not equal null. We'll do this for now just to make sure things don't crash. But we're trying to work on our build system a bit to make it a little more realistic. Because right now you can build like a foundation, and then you can like build another one that overlaps, and another one, which is really not what I want. I want it to be, you know, you build something and then you're building on the connections, but you can't accidentally build like that or something. So that's what we're working on. Still here, so you're all good. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in hyper-focus mode. But yeah, we're trying to figure that out. Plus, so I just added these little prototype creatures. These don't even have like a animation or a mesh yet. We have our big rock golem guy, but as I add more creatures, I also want to make it so then, you know, if there's a creature right there, you can't just build there. So what I'm sort of planned is just that my preview scene, like this, will have an area 3D on it. And then creatures, I guess placeables, and building components will also have their own areas. But man, that seems like a lot to add. Making it so then like every placeable has a... This is why having it be like just detecting bodies would be nice. But the problem is not all of these are bodies. Like only the creatures are bodies, and a lot of these are like node 3Ds that have collision on them. They're not static bodies necessarily. Like even my building components are not static bodies. They have static bodies attached to them, or some of them just have CSG boxes because I've been kind of lazy. And so they're not like consistent. I could make them consistent and then figure out a good system for this. Or I could just make a component that you add to every other component that is an area 3D, and it says, hey, if your preview is overlapping with this, you can't build. Something like that. Bix says, I'm slowly fixing my tiles. I had to fix the UVs for them anyway, so I experimented a bit and then decided to go back to the way I was doing stuff before. Then I expanded the texture to avoid needing to swap textures as often, since I already needed to fix the UVs anyway. Dang, yeah, I don't know anything about UVs and textures. I'm terrible with that stuff. At some point I need to learn, but... I literally just do... Everything is just color. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll do some, like, roughness, noise texture or something, but my art style doesn't really need textures the way that I lay it out, but textures are something that just kind of scare me because I haven't learned anything about them yet. So a wall lantern, I guess. Got some light. I'm going to save that. I love how it lights up the crystals when they hit. But yeah, I got to make a decision here on what I'm doing. Game needs textures as part of the aesthetic. Yeah, my like style has been to, because I don't really know much about them, my visual style has kind of changed to where I don't really need them. But obviously, if I was, it all just depends on your visual style. 1 second, I know I shouldn't drink coffee because I've already drank a lot, but I kind of want more. And I gotta go to the bathroom, so I will be right back. Bix says, I already dabbled enough in Blender to kind of get by since I used it for some fake 3D stuff in the past. Still learning a lot both in Blender and also Godot though. No previous experience in Godot. I just jumped in the deep end with 3D off the bat. Nice. I like 3D. 3D is fun. I think in some ways it's better than, or in some ways it's easier than 2D. There's some things that are more difficult. But 3D, when it comes to the art, depending on your art style, like my art style, it's way easier to do 3D than it is to do 2D. Because 2D just is time consuming when you're doing a lot of sprites and a lot of animation. With low poly 3D stuff, I can get by. Like this guy here did not take that long to build and animate. Because he's so simple. He's just a rock golem dude with, you know, very few polygons. These trees are actually just from Kenny assets, so I didn't make these. But I'm gonna be making my own trees as replacements eventually, but they're gonna end up being pretty similar. So, okay, now I need to truly decide what I'm gonna do about the overlapping thing. Because do I want to have to add everything? Let me look at like my placeables. See, a placeable is just a these have like collision shapes, but they're still a node. Would have used a different engine, but I needed the better 3D support. That's why I went with Godot. Yeah. Munglo, what's up? How's it going? Okay, so this is different from like my foundation, right? Maybe my base build components need to just have a collision. Like maybe they all just need this collision here. Because a lot of them do not. Wall preview just, oh wait, no, that's wall preview. Wall, let's go to just wall. I believe these just all have collision, or do they? Oh, this has collision. These can get deleted, don't need them. But yeah, Bix, I think 3D it's good. I spent like a couple months just learning just enough Blender to get by. Just to do simple stuff. And all I need, like, I'm only doing low poly, so it works, you know. Man, I gotta make a decision here because, so here's the things that need. The things that need. All right, I'm gonna do this overlap. So, components or build components. Creatures, placeables. things it needs to detect. So, needs to detect build components, creatures, and placeables. So what we could do there is, so placeables have a collision. If I look up placeables, it has a collision shape. Any placeable that needs collision, okay. Otherwise, can be null. So let's look up basic. Let's look at basic crafting. This has collision shape 3D, which is right there, and then there's collision. This is placeable. Placeable has here collision shape and handle pickup, handle or add to hand. If it says if interactable does not equal null, okay, so we disable that, and then we disable the collision shape, and then on deploy we enable the collision shape. Now let's look at like box. Does box have the same setup? Yes, we have collision. We have collision shape right there. I don't know if this equipable name is ever really used, but Munglo, a regular, or how do they find this? I've been here, wouldn't call me a regular. Yeah, I know I've seen you before, Munglo, but yeah. I always sort by low viewers, so I just went to game dev category with the Godot tag. Oh yeah, I do have the, I think I have the Godot tag, right? Yeah. And I also stream on YouTube. YouTube is surprisingly good for getting, you know, just viewers in general, because Twitch is always, it's always sorted. So then, you know, higher viewers for the most part are on top. But YouTube is pretty good about, just because their algorithm is really good to show to a lot of people. Which, by the way, I should probably share this. Because hey, check out. Let's see here. Yeah, I released this short. We've got them to copy that, throw that in the Discord. That you can use to toggle things, but it also can interact with the big rock golem now. Boom, just like that. When you hit one of the crystals, they all light up and glow. Which I just, but yeah, so I put this YouTube short out. I'm trying to put out more like YouTube stuff. A full video, hopefully soon. But I put out 2 shorts recently. Okay. I know this is kind of boring work that I'm working on, but it's basically, I think what I need, we have placeables. We have certain placeables that have collision. If they have collision, then they have, yeah, collision shape here. Maybe we should, do we create like a type? Yes, actually, this is what we do. So in our placeables, we have placeable.gd. Okay, create new scene. Or actually, no, we can just create a new script. Placeable collision. This is going to be class name placeable collision. This is going to be extending static body 3D. Okay, I don't even know if it needs anything else, but we can go here and we can go change type, placeable collision. And then we can go to our basic crafting bench. I think these are the only ones. And placeable collision maybe has a... No, it can just be a placeable collision. Okay, so box has a placeable collision. Which means in our obstacle detect, or actually our component preview, we can say something like this. We're going to go back to body entered and body exited. And we can do if body is placeable collision. Then we can do overlapping bodies, not append body, valid equals false. And then we could do if body is placeable collision once again, and we could do overlapping bodies dot erase body if overlapping bodies dot size is equal to 0, valid equals true. We could do something like this. There isn't that many people in game dev with the Godot tag right now, so anyway, so even without the sorting, it wouldn't have taken long. Yeah, that is true. Tags can narrow it down, yep. Fixing these textures is so worth, even though I've only fixed 2 of them, I can already tell it's gonna look so much better with proper pixel perfect textures. Nice. I need to do some stuff with my 2D textures in my icons. So, like my game, if I do a load game here, I'm pretty sure that some of these pixels are wrong because they're getting stretched. So I think I just need to adjust in my player somewhere in here. I think it's my crafting menu. Let me do a quick load here. Just to do a test, we have our light wand. We should also do that, just because. Okay, it doesn't look like that really does much. Oh wait, no, craft button. Let me do a quick test on this. That's nearest. Then linear makes that smooth. Okay, I'm kind of fine with that being a little blurry. We'll try it like that. Okay, so this now becomes like that. I wonder if it probably still will get, yes, it's still squished because technically that's already there. The texture inheriting because of the parent. But our craft icon says ignore size, fit width, keep aspect centered. Let's try this. Fit width proportional. Fit height proportional. $150 by $150. If I do that, save, and then fit height proportional, what happens? Something's gonna break heavily. Ah, yep, okay. So now it's fitting height proportional. Pixels seem like they're good, but it's kind of hard to tell. These should all be the same size. Like, I don't understand why. Fit width proportional doesn't do it. Keep size. Now we've got the giant sizes because these are all way off. Scale? Nope. Tile? Nope. Keep? Keep centered? Keep aspect? Keep aspect centered, okay. Keep aspect covered, okay. Nope. Keep aspect centered is big. Ignore size. Then we have custom minimum size of 150 and 150. And we can just do it like this. It just seems like, yeah, these pixels are definitely getting. This keep aspect centered, keep aspect covered. No. Fit width proportional. Fit height proportional. See, yeah, I don't really know. I'm just gonna go to ignore size again. We'll figure it out later. In the meantime, let me grab my coffee real quick. Mix says, I was messing with my texture earlier, the lazy way in MS Paint, but I stopped being lazy and finally opened it in Sprite to not only fix but expand the dimensions to accommodate more variety without needing to load in or swap textures. Nice, okay. I've found that like most of my issues come from just inconsistencies. Like the fact that I'm still using some placeholder textures for these icons. Like this is AI generated, same with this, because they're just from an old game. This is obviously a terrible placeholder, but some of these aren't terrible. Like the hammer I think is good. This is decent. But like the torch and wood and all that, they all need to be much better. And they might just be wrong sizes, to be honest. But we will see. We'll see how to figure it out. In the meantime, we have placeable collision. And the nice thing about placeable collision now is I could do, whoops, func ready, and then I could do collision layer equals 33, which should, so if I go to my box right here, oh wait, placeables collision. We don't need to do that, actually, because we already have a collision that's just for placeables. Okay. Not bad. And then when it comes to our walls and our build components, Zelith guy, what's up? I'm considering putting a blue Godot face on top of my placeholder textures. I think Claire Obscure lost one of its awards because they left some AI images in by mistakes. Ah, true. That's a good call, because, yeah. And then Bix had said, speaking of, Kenny, I think my footsteps and wall bump sounds are from them. I'm not sure, but I just downloaded a pack of game sounds. Has a license saying credit is nice but not needed. Yeah, Kenny, I don't think you have to really do anything. But Zelif, that's a good call, like doing some sort of marker on them, like a watermark. But I think from now on, I'm just going to make my own placeholders, even if they're crappy. Like my little fire pit one is a terrible placeholder, but I still need to lock in what my 2D art style is going to be. I think it will just be pixel art, but because like I actually don't mind, let's say like the like my hammer. This art right here, simple, basic, it works. But the other thing is I might change it up quite a bit because I might be changing up my UI quite a bit. I know this isn't the final UI because it just doesn't look like how I want it to look. I'm almost thinking of making it more like sketchy, like drawn, like you're pulling up a piece of paper, because that's the sound effect I use. Closest AI I've done for this project was just generating some concept images of what the game would look like to get some inspiration, not even referencing those images, as I already have an inspiration for the art style. Yeah, I did a little bit of that too, just to like see what it could look like. And actually I'll show what I had. So this was like the AI concept art, just to like be like, I wonder if this would be cool. And these trees, I actually do want to model trees similar to this. Then like a cozy cottage thing, some animals, a stream. And I think, you know, like we're not too far off right now, but I'm not like leaning heavily on that one generated image. Because as I make more of this, I can kind of see what the look is that I want to go for. But yeah, it can be useful though, just for like general concepts and stuff. Okay, so back to work. Now we got to figure out how to do our base building collision in a consistent way. Which I think what we do, like on this wall we have CSG box. I think we just need to get rid of all the CSG boxes. We just need to make these consistent. So let's do that. We're going to do not placeable collision. Because we can't really use that. Yeah, we can. Why couldn't we? There we go. This is on one and looks at one. I think placeable collision is just going to be our because these structures are placeable as well. We have currently all of the all of our components, build components, like square ceiling, right? This has collision on, and it's just on layer 1, terrain and structure. But I don't think we want that. What we actually want is for everything to be on placeable collision. Which, if I go to my square foundation, this is like that. So what we actually need to do is on our... Wait, where did I do this? This is square foundation. So this can be a change type placeable collision. And then here, what we can do is func ready collision layer equals, and that is 2. So we can just set it to 2, no matter what. Any placeable collision is just going to be a placeable collision. It's just going to get set on layer 2 right away. So then we don't have to change that for all of these. Okay, nice. And this is also what you step on, like the collision that the player runs into. Sorry, let me catch back up on chat. My UVs were terrible originally, like it was passable, but you could tell it wasn't even close to pixel perfect. That's sick. Isn't it nice when you like lock in your visuals? It's good. Tried to look into how I wanted my UI to be, but I'm very undecided on what type of game I want to actually make. I'm just a guy with a PC and no plan. That's me most of the time. What kind of genre are you thinking in general, Zelith, if you have really even picked that? And how much experience do you have doing game development? Vic says, I sort of have a plan for my UI, but I'm not dead set on my enemy AI yet. I know some enemies will for sure be stationary, but I'm not sure if I want them all to be or if I want some to move along set paths. Man, so I have an issue that I'm gonna have to figure out, which I've never done before. But basically, so as it stands right now, we have this giant guy, right? Which I don't want him clipping through things like this as much as he does. I don't mind a little bit of clipping. But the way that I keep him from clipping through things is I just make the navigation mesh really stay away, like have a larger radius around obstacles. So then he doesn't walk through them. And I don't mind him like clipping through a lantern or something. But then when you build, it actually automatically updates the navigation mesh. So now he won't try to walk through this area. And it rebakes it. And rebaking is fairly slow. You want to do it on a separate thread. It takes a little while. But my issue is that I don't mind if little creatures run right up to the edge of these little spots when they're navigating. Which means I have to have a separate navigation layer for different sizes of enemies or different sizes of creatures in general. I'm not even entirely sure I'm going to have enemies per se in this game. But that means that every time I build, I need to rebake the navigation mesh for the big creatures, for the middle-sized creatures, and for the small creatures. Which is, like, that's gonna cost a lot. Like, if I show my, let's see, debug visible navigation, right? Let's toggle this. It makes everything really hard to see, just a heads up, but... Okay. So, like, here's all of this navigatable area. And you can see that there's only, like, it stays away from the edges a lot because I want this big guy to only travel through places that he can actually fit. So, like, he won't even try to go under here because this has a certain amount of height, like a height for each agent. So it knows that there's something up above it, and so it doesn't let him go through there because he's too tall. But yeah, and it makes him stay away from the edges. But then I build, and you can see there's like a little delay, and then it re-updates, which is nice. I really like that. But if I'm gonna be baking that for 3 different navigation meshes at a time, like how much performance loss is that gonna be, you know? Munglo says, since I make all my stuff from scratch, I need to keep it barely passable. Trying to go for better looking stuff would take too much time. Yeah, same. Like, that's why I do super low poly. I am using, like I said, these right here are some Kenny assets trees, and then there's like a few just placeholders, like these little rock formations are from Kenny assets as well. From this kit right here, which is actually pretty sick. But it's just for placeholder right now, and eventually I'm gonna be making my own. So I have to do low poly because like you were saying, it's just too much work. It takes too much time. Bick says the game is planned to be exploration heavy. If you can't beat a certain enemy, you either don't understand how combat works or you missed an item required to beat it. Okay. And then Zella says, I'm working on an ARPG at the moment, but I have so little experience. I'm mostly just trying to get the movement to feel good. Okay, yeah. I mean, experience is literally just a matter of time and effort, right? You can spend a lot of time and you can spend a lot of effort, or you can do both at the same time. By effort, I mean like intentional learning. So not just building the same thing over and over again, but like trying to learn how to build new systems. And it is just time and effort. That's all it is. So no worries there. If it feels like you have so little experience, that's fine, because eventually you will not have so little experience. That's how it works. First Path of Exile game is 2D under the hood. The models are 3D, but the logic is 2D. Oh, I didn't know that. Are you doing, Zealot, are you doing 3D or 2D? But yeah, so I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm doing. Right now, I did add another creature, which is, I don't even have the artwork for it yet, but it's somewhere around here. I'll just load game. No, wait, I have to restart it because the creatures don't save their position yet. But over here, I added some other creatures that are going to be tiny. These guys right here. You can barely see them right now because of the visual effects. But they're going to be like little, I'm calling them dark rats right now. They don't have any artwork yet. But I don't want them to have to stay this far away from a building because they're tiny. They should be able to run right up against it. The big guy, he does need to be able to stay away from these things so he's not running into your buildings constantly. But once again, that's just going to be, we're just going to have to figure out how to do different navigation layers for different types of creatures. But they showed a super early screenshot of when they first started development and it was 2D. Okay. Zealous says, I haven't decided yet. I'm waiting pros and cons like, oh, Magigumi, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How's it going? I was thinking 2D, then I figure it might be easier to do a 3D environment with the camera to set up to make it look 2D. Then I hum and haw as a way of pros and cons. BRB helping fix my Mrs. Earmuffs. Wish me luck. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, you're gone right now, Zealot. So I will wait until you are back to answer. For now, let me go through my. So we have doorway, we have side, use collision. We have all of this stuff, right? Okay. So we can get rid of these. We can add a child node. This is going to be a placeable collision. Collision shape. Box shape. This one is going to be 4, 2.5. We're going to move it over to here, and actually should be like 1, I guess. Negative 1.5. Yeah. And actually, we can make this 1.75. Nope. 1.5 does that. Okay. Let's do 1.4. No, 1.25, I guess. Okay, that's good. Another collision shape. We're going to copy the size of that. Reason I'm doing that is just because so that's negative 1.5. Okay, so 1.5. The reason I'm not copying over the full shape is I think then I would have to make them unique. And I would rather just have them fully separate. Okay. Box shape. 0.5. We're going to do, I guess, 2. Height, 0.5. Let's do like 0.3, I guess. And then we can do this at 3.5, I guess, because it is, how high is it? Okay, it's 1.5. And let's do, I guess, 1.4 or something there. I think our wall, what is our wall at? That's at 0.5, so I guess we just do the same for this, for all of these, 0.5 on all walls. What is it on these? 0.5, 0.5, okay. But now this has placeable collision, okay. It's also Diablo and Diablo 2, and those were 2D, yep. See, the thing is, I think on Diablo, or on 3D games, you could still just do 3D for the ease of animating, but just lock the camera like Zelith was saying. Because the logic is not actually all that different. Doing logic in 2D or 3D is mostly convenience or optimization. There's plenty of 2D looking games running in 3D, like Enter the Gungeon or Dungeon of the Endless. Gungeon gets much more projectile collision for free. Endless, I don't remember why they picked it, but I remember they used forced perspective on the art and normal mapping to get light to look nice. So Enter the Gungeon and Dungeon of the Endless both are 3D, but just looking from like an isometric or something. Because there's certain things like, I mean, just having your Z indexing or whatever, or Y index or Y sorting, basically, so much easier in 3D. 3D but looks 2D, yeah. You could even your animating is just so much easier in 3D. Like the fact that you can just let me go to like my rock golem. The fact that if I go to animation, I guess. Cool. Does not show it. Okay, edit mode, object mode. Maybe I need to go to here. There we go, I think, yeah. So I make this walk very simple, right? The loop is broken because it is extending to there. But I just have to do that once, like that's it. It's done. Every angle it's gonna work, right? it can impact gameplay in the first Path of Exile because of that 2D logic. If you used an attack, it would hit enemies that were up or downhill regardless, because every height is checked if the logic is set up that way. Yeah. Projectiles with floor height and getting hits to register so it feels and looks right in strict 2D isometric is a big hassle, so in Gungeon they get all that for free. Yeah. Yeah, and for me it's the assets mostly. Like just drawing everything in 2D. Oh man, it's tough. There's ways that you can do rigging and stuff in 2D, but that's like for like platformers. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone be able to do that any other way, like rigging in 2D. You kind of have to have just platformer perspective, I guess, side scroller. I don't know if you can do that in any other. Okay, so we have doorway. Doorway is done. It has placeable collision. Placeable collision gets thrown on there. Sick. Square ceiling. We have CSG box, which uses collision. We have all of these beams that we don't need. Delete. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab this value, copy value. We're going to add a placeable collision. Collision shape. This is going to be a box shape. Paste that value in there. We can delete this CSG box. We can go to 3D here and make sure that this is lined up. I don't think this works because square foundation is... Oh no, it does. Okay. The collision is up. All right. Okay, nice. That's good. Square ceiling is done. We can get rid of these. Okay, foundation is already done. Square wall mounted foundation. We already have a collision here, so we can just change this. Change type to a placeable collision. Let's try to rename these when we can. Post and post. These have collision. Do we care? Not really. Okay. Stairway. We have a static body here. Okay, that's nice because all we need to do is change the type to placeable collision. Save. Placeable collision. Just so we remember that we have these. Triangle ceiling. We have the center point and all of these sides. These are all using collision. Okay. Which we really don't need. I did a 2D rig for an old RPG Maker project that was a sprite designed to use a specific plugin that I was using to make a custom battle system. I'm trying to think. So there was a specific custom like rigging plugin for 2D. Okay, how do I do this collision shape? Okay, we have CSG combiner. How does this work again? We can just do this. Bake collision shape. Okay, so we have a baked collision shape. This is way more Okay. It's way more collision geometry than we need, but that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a placeable collision here. We're going to throw this there. And honestly, we can throw that there. All of these cannot use collision anymore. Nice. Really, what we should be doing is just building this in Blender. We're still using just CSG boxes for these, for some reason. Rip earmuffs. Oh boy. There was a plugin to use the Dragon Bone software to use 2D rigging. Okay. But Zelith, I think doing 3D is probably your best bet, depending on how much 3D experience you have doing Blender and stuff. But honestly, for Blender, if you're doing top-down and stuff, and you're doing low poly, it's doable. I mean, I spent about 2 months learning Blender before I jumped into making my first 3D game. I just like really spent a couple months learning it. And all I do is low poly stuff like this. But it didn't take too long, and now all the stuff I need to know in Blender, I can do. For the types of stuff I'm doing. I don't know anything about texturing and all that, so if you're trying to do that, then it will just take more time, more learning. But it's doable, and I think 3D will solve a lot of problems, and all you do is you just, use a camera that makes it a fixed camera like a 2D, you know? Okay, I saw one guy's video where he makes some low poly 3D models and then he gets screen grabs of the models to create his 2D sprites. That's been something I've been contemplating for a week or two as I decide if I want 2D or 3D. That is also true, but I almost wonder if it's just like, it's just easier to just do 3D. Because even your animations, like let's say you wanted your animations to be like framey, like where they cut, where they're not fully smooth, you can do that in Blender. You can just make them more framey or something if you wanted that look. Otherwise, you could just make them smooth animations. And then if we look at like Diablo 3, I guess, gameplay. So if you're doing this style, like this is all 3D, it's just a locked camera. And a lot of stuff is just easier in 3D. Like the fact that you don't have to worry about whether or not the trees are in front of the character at every angle. 3D just figures that out. You don't have to do Y sorting.
The fallen star has upset the balance.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is just easier in 3D. I use Blender for everything. Blender is great. I do like it quite a bit. So with Blender, I've used it on and off for years for one thing or another. If I'm going low poly, I might try Blockbench. Yeah, I've messed around with that when creating custom enemies for Minecraft. Honestly, I've been thinking about looking into Blockbench. It's not that I would necessarily use it for everything. But like there's a lot you can do with it, and it would be really nice for what I'm doing, because you can still do a lot of the same stuff as Blender. Like it's not like you can't, like everything has to be Minecraft, but it is just meant for low poly stuff. So I have thought about looking into that. Animations as well. The only thing is that Blender has integration with Godot that I don't know if, let me see, Godot workflow, let me see. Rips up topology, opens up faces. Okay. Yeah, it could be something I mess around with. I have been wanting to look into Blockbench for a while and like actually try it out. The thing is, I don't want to be doing quite like this style. I do need a little more detail. Like my artwork for like this guy, it's not quite full on blocks. There's still a lot of, it's just a low poly look. But I'm sure you could do all this stuff with Blockbench as well. I would just need to play around with it. I was making use of it at the time because it was the only plugin that allowed for infinite animation frames instead of needing a set amount. Oh yeah. Light cookies, icons too, and the occasional small video editing. Okay. For character rigging, you can also make use of Mixamo. True. Yeah. Large amount of different animations. Yeah. I like how Blockbench doesn't overburden someone who wants something short and sweet. Yeah. Voxel style. There's also Magica Voxel. Okay. I did at one point try Blockbench, but it didn't do inside out geometry well. Something that isn't even my game. Ah, okay. Look up the Hightail modding thing. They did some amazing looking models and they use Blockbench. Yeah. Hightail and Block. Yeah, yeah. I think, what did it say? Yeah, like Minecraft, Hightail, all of these are using it, so. Seems like it's, yeah, legit. I just haven't messed around with it. Maybe we'll do a Blockbench stream here at some point. Hightail and Minecraft, yeah. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, we created this. It has a CSG baked collision shape. I love this, the CSG baker or combiner node. It's really nice. Union. Oh, they have union, intersection, and subtraction. Only intersecting geometry remains. Okay, what's this? The second shape is subtracted from the first. That's kind of nice. Huh. Okay. We can delete this. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so triangle ceiling. Now we'll do triangle foundation. We have all of this. So let's do a CSG combiner. Big collision shape. Okay. We can grab all of these, pull them out. Then we can add placeable collision. Now, I think we'll just do this for these posts as well. I could have just done it under the same one, but that's fine. Big collision shape. Toss this up here. So, placeable collision has that. Okay. Wall. Wall has placeable collision already. And it is just a box shape that big. Okay, sick. Wood angled roof. We have static body here, which has that whole collision, so we can just change the type to a placeable collision again. Then let's rename this placeable. So basically what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to make sure we're not building things on top of each other. Like, I don't want you to be able to build on top of a desk, build a foundation that covers up your crafting station or something, or build multiple foundations intersecting with each other, that type of thing. Okay, placeable collision, wood angled wall. Okay. This has all of these static bodies. So I think what we will do is we're going to go to wood, angled wall, blend. We're going to remove this collision. Hightail has a video of a guy making a lava mob. Okay. I should check that out. Floorboard. Oh, this has physics. Save. Okay. Get physics out of there. Now, can I take all of this? Okay, I think I can grab all of these. We'll just do this. Create collision shape, placements, sibling, tri-mesh, single convex? Then we can do a placeable collision here. Nice. Okay, we're figuring this out. All of our components just need this stuff. So wood angled wall was our last one. Wood half wall. We have a CSG box here that uses collision. Okay, it's just these things can go, delete. And then we can do a placeable collision. With a collision shape. It's going to be a box shape, 0.5, 2 high, 4 wide. This needs to be at 1. Yes. Save. Okay. Now we can get rid of this CSG box, delete. Okay, we're almost there. Wood window is a little bit more difficult. We've got, well, actually, it's not really, because we don't really need... We don't need you to be able to go through the window. Placeable collision. Collision shape, same thing. Box shape, we're doing 4.5. And then on our collision, we're doing transform. 2. One thing with this, we don't want these to look at anything. Does that work? Does setting collision mask to 0? Okay, seems like that does work. Okay, nice. Lunar, what's up? How you doing? What are we working on? We are working on... let's see, wood window. Did we finish them all? I think we might have. So we're working on our build system here. So right now you can, oops. Right now you can build a foundation and then just decide to build another foundation and another one, and they can all overlap, and we don't want that. What we want is, right now there's already this like connection system where they snap to the connection points, wherever those might be. Oh, interesting. Why can I not build there? Oh, you know what? I see. So they are not on collision layer 1. So actually, I think what we do here is 3, because we want them to be on 1 and 2, basically. Made it quite a bit darker compared to last. I saw pretty nice. Yeah, I like it as dark as we can kind of get away with. Because the whole point of the game is to kind of light up the forest yourself. Culling unseen faces in my dungeon saves a lot of geometry over an entire game. Yeah. Collision masks and layers, how do they work? I feel like I put that on a t-shirt. Yeah. I've figured them out finally now, like to where it makes sense. Okay. That worked. Can I? Okay, nice. So with collision layers and masks, you can kind of think of it as the layer is what it's part of, and the mask is what it interacts with, right? So it's like the layer is what it is, the mask is what it bumps into. So like if it's on 1 and 1, that means that it is on layer 1, so things that run into layer 1 will run into it. And if it looks at layer 1, it means that when it runs into something, if that is on layer 1, then it will run into it, right? Then there's the actual values here that you see. So there's bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3. I don't really use those, but there's the values. 1, 2, 4, 8, 256 at layer 9, but it goes up by, it doubles every time, right? But if I set the collision layer to 3, it takes the two values. So layer 1 and layer 2 have value of 1 and 2. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. I can set collision layer to 3, and that means that it is now on layer 1 and 2. Even though in the editor it doesn't show that, but like on the ready function, when it is ready, it will see that it's on collision layer 3, which means value 1 and 2. So layer 1 and 2, right? Knowing that is nice, because then you can do all sorts of combos just by like adding them together. This is 8,192, layer 14. So if I wanted it to be on layer 1 and layer 14, it's just 8,192 plus 1. And then you can just set that there. And different combos will always come up with different values. Okay, so that works. Now that that works, we can now go to like our preview. Hey, RJL Jones, how's it going, brother? How was your stream? Good to see you, man. We're working on my base building system a little bit more just to make it so you can't do overlapping structures, and I also want to make it so you can't like accidentally build where the creatures are. But Dan Garrett, thank you for the follow. And Mavi, what's up? How you doing? If you guys want to see what we're working on, like I said, we're working on the build system. So I want to make it so you can't accidentally build like a foundation like that overlaps with other foundations. So we're going to do some little testing system. Mavi, thank you for the follow as well. Daddy chill. So that's what we're working on right now. And then we're going to need to make it so the preview itself like turns red or something if you can't build there. Which I think I tried doing that a couple days ago and it wasn't working, but now I think I know how to do it. But yeah, if you're new here and you haven't seen the game before, it's basically a cozy little survival game with building elements. And the general idea of the game is that you are going to gather resources and build your base and explore, but you're also going to be kind of maybe clearing out the forest. It's a permanently dark forest. There's going to be creatures in it that you want to work with that will work with you. But you're basically trying to light up the forest, clean it out, any corruption that's in the forest, build your own little, like, almost Lord of the Ringsy Rivendell style places, craft things. We've got, some basic crafting stuff. We have our placeable system here where we can, craft items and place them down. We have different types of placeables that go on the ground, placeables that, go on the wall. We have our toggleables. We also have this little wand that I added where you can turn off lights. I just like that. You can toggle these lights. It's kind of fun. But yeah, this game is looking good. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. RJL, how was your stream if you're still around? Beautiful. Thanks, man. So you're pretty much just working on artwork at this point now, right? Ooh, what is going on here? My material was stuck in the emissive state. Not entirely sure why. Oh, also, I just realized this happens. Because there's a hammer on these, if I swing, they also glow. I need to figure out why. I guess I need to make this a unique material. Maybe? Something like that. It's the same thing that happens over here, which I don't mind it on this, because, like, when you throw a light ball at this guy, if it hits near the crystal, then they glow. I just like that. But yeah. Are you quiet, or is it just me? Hopefully I'm not too quiet. I think I'm fine. But yeah. What was I thinking? Oh, yeah, so the other things that I've been able to build recently, systems, that I'm going to have to figure out another way of doing, because it doesn't work for everything. But we do have it where when you build, it does rebake the nav mesh, which is nice. So if I like build here, he will try to walk around it if he needs to. But I need to do separate nav meshes because there's different agent sizes, so I have to figure out how to do that, because I have small creatures and then I have big creatures. And like this big creature, obviously I don't want him clipping through too many things. I don't mind if he clips a little bit, but I want him to have different avoidance around things. Stay further away. But for like little creatures, I want them to be able to walk right up to edges. Oh. Oh, you know what I realized? When I rebake the nav mesh on these, it doesn't take into account the radius of the nav agent. So when I go to my forest here, we have this radius here where it's like, okay, you can't go this close because he's big, right? So it keeps it farther away from the edges. But on these, like my square foundation, we have this, where is it? Navigation obstacle. So then when it rebakes, it knows like, hey, cut out this part right here. But the problem is that doesn't change. Like that's just a set size and it won't change based on the navigation agent. So that might be fine, but it will be the same for all sizes of creatures. So looks great. Will you support multi co-op? If I get that far, I would love to. But co-op would be, well, there would really only be co-op. Yeah, I would love to, but I mean, it just depends on how far I can get. Because basically my plan is to make a really good single player demo and then see if I can get enough traction with it, whether it be through marketing the game, like getting wish lists and seeing that it's actually worth taking all the way, or getting like a publisher or something like that. But Twitch will sometimes randomly decide to turn the stream volume down when you go to watch a stream for some reason. Yeah. But, okay, now that we have that in there, this doesn't take into account creatures yet. But if I go to obstacle detect here, we have component preview has this. Okay, and then we have valid equals true and valid equals false. Nice. We will do another one that is just like a creature collision or something. But if valid equals false, this means, all right, in our player, okay, let's go back to our build system. I don't know if this is the best way to do this because I do want to update the build plugin, which by the way, if anyone is interested in using the build plugin, it's called DS Base Builder. You can find it on GitHub. And I've revamped it recently. That made it a lot simpler. I still need to make a video on how to use it. But if you want to download the test project and just play around with it, you can. But these changes are going to be added to the plugin at some point here. So, player is building equals false, return, connection detect does not equal null, and current focus connection dot enabled equals true. Okay, what am I doing here? What is this? If it equals null, return. There's nothing else happening after it. I must have deleted something here before because it does not. Yeah. Is that all this is doing? It's just checking if it's null? Okay. Okay. Place a component at a connection point, pass in, okay. If the component is null, return false. If it's deconstruct, we return true. Otherwise, we build it. And then we have place new structure, blah, blah, blah. We do all this. So I think what we do is in our player input actions, we have just pressed. Okay. This is all of this player code is terrible. Using tools and placing placeables below. Okay. Item left click action. Okay. We have that. So maybe in our hammer, we could do something like if player dot current dot base builder dot current preview scene dot valid is equal to false, return. Let's see if that works. 4 a.m. here. I was wide awake anyway, so I decided to hard commit to the all-nighter when I went to make the what? Something, I don't know what the last part of that is, but the hard commit, I can see that. Okay. Oh, something broke. Invalid access to property or key valid on base type nil. Okay. We have valid. Okay, so deconstruct does not have so we got to check first. Does not equal deconstruct. Then we check if current preview scene dot valid equals false. Now here, if it's there, we do, okay. Okay. What happens here? Okay, that's fine. So, something here is, or in our stone hammer, we have valid equals false, or is equal to false. So what is our obstacle detect doing? It's looking at, oh, that's why. Obstacles, which actually we should rename this to animal build obstacles. Okay, now it should only be on the square foundation preview that we have this. Load game, we go here. Okay, why? Why do we have this? Okay, we don't need that. Okay, what is going on? Current preview scene not valid. We need to take a look. Hot bean water. Okay. Coffee, I see. Prohibited list of words. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, we have square foundation. If body is placeable collision. Let's see if these are working. Maybe I can't have a... Okay, we aren't getting anything. What if I... Whoops. What if I do this manually? Okay, we just aren't getting anything there. What happens when I do like a area? Okay, that's area entered. Body is a node 3D. If obstacle detect does not equal null, then we do body entered connect, add body, and body exited connect. Let's see what's up. Why is there not anything happening? Okay, this might break some stuff, but... Component preview. Body enter document bind on press dot bind. Oh, do we do it here? No. Oh, this also should be remove body. Okay, let's give this a shot. Be no mention of coffee in my streams whenever I read or hear it. I want some of it even if it's late. That's probably what I should do. Obstacle detect, okay. Now we do that, ceiling, it becomes null because there is none. Okay. What is going on here? Obstacle detect, collision mass 34. Okay, let's just okay, oh, this is on, okay, it should only be looking at these. But I did that here too, right? 2 and 6. And we have collision mass 34. Maybe that's wrong. I hope that's it. That would be nice. Nothing. Does it need to be in the init? It's possible. Component preview. Body entered does add body. Should just be detecting something. Okay, we're gonna do it like this and see what's up. Nothing. Not a single body detected. Okay. Dan says, I have to go. Have a great stream. I need to start adulting now. Sounds good. Thank you for being here, brother. Good to see you. Hope you have a good one, man. Thank you for the follow as well. Okay, we got to figure out what is... Okay, foundation. We can see that right there. It is clearly overlapping. With many a body. If body is placeable collision. Okay, let's look at a square foundation. Type placeable, and it is a static body. Collision mask 0, layer 3. Placeable collision is on layer 3. Which means that it's on 1 and 2. What is wind? Why do all of these have... We could, I guess, look at 1 as well. Placeable collision, collision layers 3. So weird. Why does it not? It's got to be something with our layers and... Let's do collision mass 3 and let's see if that does it. No printing. None at all. Let me see something. So if I go to my VS Code and go to like my hitbox and hurtbox, on the init I'm doing, and then where's my hurt box? And then I am doing maybe we do this. We can do collision mass 34. Then we can do body entered dot connect, add body. Exited dot connect, remove body. Okay, and then we can go this. We can get all of these. We can get rid of them. We can actually get rid of this. And then in our base builder, whoops. There we go. Hey, Buttermilk Pancake, what is up? How are you? It's good to see you. Okay, then in our stone hammer, instead of doing this current preview scene, we could do current preview scene dot obstacle detect. Then we could do this. Just so many if statements. Okay, so it's on 34, which means 2 plus 32, yes. And then we have all of this. Square. Let's see if this connects anything. Okay, it's on mask 2 and 6. We're not gonna change that. We're gonna copy this, paste it there. We're gonna delete this, okay. We're gonna move that under there just to hopefully reset some things. Because I have no idea what else would be happening. Still nothing. Debugger. Let's go to our hammer. Obstacle detect exists. obstacle detect exists. That does not get printed. Okay. 0 in the overlapping bodies. It has to just be a collision layer thing, right? We're going to delete that. Okay. Make it unique. 4, 1, 4. And on our thing. Okay, that works. I have no idea what's happening, but it is incredibly annoying. Still nothing. Why? Obstacle detect looks at layer 2 and 6. Square foundation has placeable collision, which is a static body. Okay, maybe it's this. Collision layer 3. I'm gonna put it on 1 and 3, or 1 and 2. No. Trying to just like change things to refresh things, but it's clearly not going to work. Why? This is killing me because I know what I'm doing. It's just clearly something is off in my collision layers or something. So the mask, it looks at 2 and 6, square foundation, Placeable collision is on layer 2. And it's on layer 1. Let me get rid of these. Even just hard coding these in, it doesn't work. Let's do this again. Actually, let's just do print collided. Just see what happens. No collided. Like, I can see the area there. Wait, why? Why does it look so odd, though? It's like my preview is all messed up. Maybe it's just this. Yeah, it is. Component preview. Obstacle detect. I truly have no idea. One second, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna think about this. This is just driving me crazy. Now we continue. Trying to figure out what this is. That's the crazy thing, is it like this just doesn't connect with anything. I guess I can do this. Connects with itself. Bro. Print detected. This is just when any obstacle. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go like this. Make it look at everything. Here we're gonna go, okay, that already does, nice. This better just interact with anything. It better just print something. And it's still not. So there are just no, apparently no physics bodies that it is running into. Detected. Look at that. What was that from? Detected. Okay, let's go over here again. Let's do a small box. Place it down there. Boom, detected. Go back. Okay, no. It's detecting these guys. That's what it is. Okay, so. That's because Dark Rat is on 6. Rock Golem is also on 6. So it must be something to do with our placeable collision. And And then that means that our box this is on layer 2. Okay, let's try this on init. We set that. That does nothing. Obstacle detect is still looking at everything. And if I go over here, it should say detected. Yes, okay. Which means, okay, I can still place there because placeable collision. Let's just do 2. Obstacle detect doesn't need that necessarily. Okay, that's where we have on body entered. Okay. We say collision mask is just 2. Okay, and just 2 does absolutely nothing. And if I go in here, it does not print detected anymore because we're in a different collision layer. Okay. By the way, this should be more like 3.5. 3.5. Okay, component preview, nice. This, overlapping bodies. If we get rid of this and just set it on that, just obstacle detect. That is on layer 2. Square foundation placeable collision is on 2. Obstacle detect. Why is that different? This needs to be like that. We're going to go ahead and delete this. add a new obstacle detect. Whoops, delete. Okay. Forgot I need to do this. Obstacle detect. How can this be? Change type to a This is driving me wild. Okay, here we do 16 and 16. Okay, nice, cool, cool, cool. Item bodies. Area enter dot connect. We do this. We're literally doing the same thing here. What is layer 16? Okay. Let's do just static body, I guess. Still nothing. It doesn't even, like, it just doesn't detect anything else. Well, we shouldn't need this anymore. It should just look at that. Obstacle detect here should look at 2 and 6. Okay. Like our square foundation, placeable collision. Let's just do a, we might just have to do this completely different. So placeable collision is just a class, which is a static body 3D. Okay. Collision object 2D. Inherited by physics body. Okay. Layers 1, 3, and 4. Okay, I guess, I don't know. Obstacle detect. Let's turn on this. Do we have any static bodies? That's on terrain value. Okay, 13. We're gonna set it to that. Okay. Where's our rock formation? We got to see if it at least runs into rock formation. It runs into animals and creatures. It does not run into rock formations. We may have to just restart though. If I drop this and I go blip, foundation, detected. Nice. If I just have 5. Detected. Move it away, bring it back, detect it. Okay. 2 and 6. Good to go. Placeables collision. Animal build obstacles. Now. Square foundation. Okay, we don't need this to be on number 6. We just need it to be on 2. At least on 2. Why does this not have anything? Let's do a quick okay, placeables collision. It has that now. let me look at another thing. Okay, this is showing on 1 and 1. Then we go here. What we need is something like this. And actually what we need is, let's just do this. Okay. New scene. Placeable collision. Okay. Nope, this needs to be on 2 and 6. Get rid of that. Okay. We may just have to go through all of our other ones here. Okay, placeable collision is here. That's good. Has its stuff. We're going to get rid of that for now. We don't need that because it's already here. This means we need to add it back into like all of our stuff here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, load game, we go to this, foundation, and we check. Does it run into this? Dude, what is happening? Why am I so unable to figure this out? Am I going to run into this at all? Yes. It refuses to detect it. Even though obstacle detect. Looks at 2 and 6. Common parent is null. I don't know what that is. We're going to reload current project. This is driving me absolutely insane. I just want to make this work. Should be simple. All we're trying to do is detect. Okay, nothing detected. Then we go down here. Nothing detected. Oh. Wait a second. Is it just the shape of this? Make unique. We're gonna do 4, 4. Maybe it was just too small. We'll see here. No, of course not. Because why would it be that easy? Obstacle detect. Light post is on layer 2, placeable collision. Placeable collision is a static body 3D. Zero and 34. Okay. Wait, what do I have here? No, that's the... Okay. Foundation. Placeable collision. Three and 0. So if we do obstacle detect on 1 and 2, placeable collision on 1 and 2. Okay, so we have all of these. We've got like a billion ones, zeros, 34s, 2s, zeros. So everything is all messed up. 3 and 0. Then I can do ceiling and then back to foundation. 0 and 3. Still not detecting. Collision 2 and 6, because placeable collision is on 2 and 6. Obstacle detect should look at 2 and 6. Placeable collision actually doesn't need to be on 6, it just needs to be on 2. So if I go back here, this should be on 2. Yes. How's the game been coming along? Difficult. I cannot get my my Area 3D to just detect things, which is really annoying. Something weird is happening there. Yeah, I have just no idea. Placeable collision. We'll put this on 2 and 1 just because we do need it to be able to detect for foundations. This is the scene. It can detect. This is the thing I don't understand is oh, weird. You get glare on the Okay, so it can detect those guys. And they are on layer 6. Placeable collision is on layer 2. Square foundation reparent node, remove nodes. Okay. This is not detecting. Wait, detected. Oh, that's because there's a little creature there. So yeah, he's detecting the creature. Started mine about a week ago. Will be my first official game release when I'm done. Nice. Round-based survival like COD Zombies. Okay. I like that. Okay, we're gonna do this. Save that. Okay, placeable collision there. We're doing the actual scene. Square foundation. Four. 0.44. Let's look at 3D, make sure it's good. Okay. Doorway has it. Box, we're gonna need it. Okay, so this is a actual scene with the collision of 1 and 2. Okay. Crafting bench. Okay, and now we go back and we just do all of our components again, I guess. These all have 2 and 1. Nice. Okay, that's fine. Stairway. We're just doing this, I guess, all over again to just hopefully make it work. Just don't really know, like, something is obviously messed up in my collision layers or something. And I'm only really doing this just to see if a little, like, reset will fix things, but... Because these weren't scenes, they were just, just like, whoops, a like node type, I guess. Oh, did I even add one here? Wait, 5, 4, yeah. Working on finishing the GDG while I get the game loop polished up. Struggling with weapon handler right now. Weapon handling is a little tough. Checking all your nodes to ensure you didn't slip and click on by accident. I've set a child node as a collision layer one time. Yeah, I think now that I switched them all to scenes, then they should at least be consistent. It's just more that, like, okay, what's this debug? Save and load. Was modified from inside an instance, but it has vanished. Is it just my save data that's throwing this off? No. Okay, I'm going to save game, load game. I just do not understand this. So this detects animals, just doesn't detect the placeable as collision. Which right here, this is on placeable as collision. And right here, this shouldn't be doing anything. Wait, we have collision shape on placeable. What is happening here? So, what is it called again? That has collision shape. Add to hand does disabled equals true, but otherwise should not be. Deploy does disabled equals false. I'm blown away. Build preview, okay. We do a preview. Then we do snap.addChild, current preview scene. Okay. Visible collision shapes. Foundation. Okay. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Detected, detected. Sick. We'll go over here. These are not detected. Are they like sleeping or something? Oh my goodness. No, that didn't work. Keep active. Bro. Oh, interesting. Okay. Detected. I gotta say, this is the most annoying problem I've ever run into. collision layer 3. It's killing me. Okay, collision layer 1 and 2. What about my player? I don't know if that does anything. I truly have no idea what I'm doing. I just cannot figure this out. Maybe I can do this. Okay, area exited, area entered. It's on 2 and 6. We're gonna go to our square foundation. Gonna do an area 3D here. This is going to be on 2. It's going to have a collision shape. Sphere shape. Cool. Sounds good. Connected, disconnected. Connected. Disconnect. Okay. It's literally, it just needs to be an area instead. I don't understand this at all. Something like this. Okay, now we're going to try something crazy. We're going to try to make this a scene. It's placeable collision. We're going to do create a new scene. It's going to be an area 3D. Placeable obstacle collision. Let's keep our naming conventions the same. As you can see, my my brain cells have disintegrated. I guess we might as well be on 2 and 6. Okay, so now if I go to this, and I go delete, okay, then we do instantiate, placeable obstacle collision. Okay. Then, if valid equals false, I think that's in our stone hammer. Let's see if this works. I don't even know if it will, but... Broken. Overlapping bodies. This needs to be area. Overlapping areas. Okay. Nice. We can still build there because we need them to have their blockers. Good learning moment for us all. Yeah, just for some reason, I guess static bodies, maybe they just don't get connected. I don't know. Or like collided with by Area 3Ds when the Area 3D is being moved. Don't know. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Don't need these. But what we can do now is we can go to all of our stuff here, like this, placeable obstacle, copy this, paste this. This should be on the right stuff. Okay, nice. Box can have it too. Okay. Crafting station. Okay. Fire pit. Okay, fire pit has it. Now we can go through all of our components again, but it shouldn't take too long actually. Because we can do this. Square ceiling, square foundation. Already has it, right? Yep. Triangle ceiling, placeable collision, okay. Copy this, paste it, save. Copy these, paste them, save. Maybe I can just add it under this and then it's easier. Yeah. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Previews. Okay, we have obstacle detect, which has a collision shape like that. Edible children. This one should be fairly simple. 4, 4.5. But actually we should do more like 3.8, 3.8. Maybe 3.5. Same with our square foundation preview. Something like that. Is that what we want? Make them quite a bit smaller, just to make sure we're not like having issues, which actually on a lot of these it's not that big of a deal. But okay, doorway. Square ceiling. Something like that. Square foundation, already good. Square wall mounted foundation. We can just grab this one, copy, paste. I think I'll do 3.5 for these. Okay, for this stairway preview. JD, what's up? How's it going, man? Good to see you. For this, we can just do a... Actually, let's delete that. Okay. Let's paste. Honestly, that's fine. Triangle ceiling preview. Editable children. We're going to do a cylinder shape for this one. We're going to do a radius of 1, height of like 0.3. Maybe radius of 1.2. 1.1, let's say. Let's just do that, I guess. Copy this, triangle foundation preview. We're going to just do the same. Paste. Wall preview, we can do this. Editable children. Make unique. We're going to do 3, 3.3. Bring that up to there. Angled roof preview. This is where we basically just just do this. But we'll make this a little bit. Yeah, more like that, I guess. And we'll just see where things go wrong. This I don't care as much about. Wood half wall preview. Paste that in there. All we need to do is move it down one. Go here. Do I to 1.5. Bix, what's up again? Finally was having a weird bug where even though my textures are pixel perfect, I was getting edge lines. The fix was to put margin around the outside of my textures with a single extra pixel of the correct color on the border at that location. Huh. It was annoying to need to fix a Godot issue by changing how I was doing, but whatever. Yeah. Okay, all of these previews now have this. We'll see. Of course, I obliterated my whole thing before this, which is really annoying. Okay, I can still build like that, which is fine. Let's make sure we can still build other things. Okay, now let's go like this. Nice. Okay, now can I still place things fine? Yeah. Okay. It's working. Now what we need to do, okay, obstacle detected invalid. Okay. Placeable object collision. Collision shape 3D. We're going to go here. Sphere shape. Give this like a 5-meter radius. So you can't build around him right next to his feet. Now, obstacle detect, what we can do is what is it? Preview obstacle detect. Okay. I think we can do that. Set does it if it can. Nothing happens. Okay, nice. So, component preview, process, base builder. What do we have? Preview invalid color. Then we don't need this here. We can do we need to change a material property here. That's fine. We won't worry about it yet. It's working to some extent. Instead of sampling the inside of the texture, if the texture is pixel perfect, the very edge sample is the beginning of the next pixel, even if you set the sampling to nearest. Weird. Could have fixed it by dropping internal resolution to not show the game. It's clearly make it more pixelated, but I don't want to do that. Yeah. That makes sense. I was going to work on my dark rat, but because this took so long, so instead what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild rebuild what we lost. Okay, I can't build there because this guy's there. Okay, now I can build. Okay, we have that. Now we can rebuild our little spot up here because I like having this. Save game. Let's craft up some wood, throw it in there. Save game. Let's load game. Nice, still there. Okay. My little rat creatures are still running around. We need to give them some stuff. Some stuff to do. But I probably need to be done. Need to get some more light going. Okay, we're looking good again. And now you can't just build willy-nilly. You have to, okay. Also can't build where this guy is. We'll have to do something about that. The glowing issue. But okay, it's looking good. But I do need to go, unfortunately. Because I have been streaming for 4 hours now, which is longer than I normally can. Glad that we eventually made progress on this. It took forever, but this is good progress. I didn't get to sit around throwing light balls around like I want to all the time. It's my favorite thing to do in this so far. But on our next session, we can work on the rats, because they are going to be an annoying part, because you can't build when they're there. Bix, thank you for the follow, man. Catch you later. Yeah, you too, man. Hopefully I can stream tomorrow. I might be able to. That's right. Looks good. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you again, Buttermilk. But yeah, we will continue this again soon. I want to see, maybe there's someone I can raid. Let's take a look.
Now it seems like that should not be
Mr. D-Boy. Or no. My drawing. I'm gonna raid. Because he's got a sick project. See you next go around. Got to start posting up in the Discord more myself. Yeah, for sure, man. Anytime you have projects and stuff you're working on, I love seeing them. So, okay, we're gonna try to start this raid here on Twitch. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you all. Good to have you here. Everyone over in the YouTube chat as well. Thank you guys for being here as always. Appreciate you. A lot of the YouTube chat are lurkers, but that is entirely fine. But yeah, we will see you all later. Hopefully you guys have a good one. I gotta take one more look here and just have fun with this for a second. Yeah. Anyway, peace out, guys. Thank you for being here, and I will send you over now. Okay. And for everyone in the